What's going on, people? Welcome to Make Money Moves podcast. I'm your host, Al, and I'm so excited for you guys to be here. This is episode number 1 of what will be a long-standing podcast to help people build educational financial literacy so that they can make more out of their money, so they can make money moves. Because the only way to make money move is to make money moves. So episode 1 is going to be focused on tackling or identifying that invisible enemy. Now, you're like, oh man, invisible enemy? What are you talking about, invisible enemy? I know all my enemies, but do we really? So we're going to focus on why do hard, smart working people like you and I struggle with money. And once you realize it and you see the things that's going on, you're going to shake your head and you're going to realize you can never go back to that place you was.
Pay to a check, yeah, I changed my mind. From broke to boss, now I'm on my grind. Like in my hand, I'm claiming my time. Make Money Moves podcast, my line. I changed from inside.
Welcome to Make Money Moves podcast, where we make money move by making money move. Let me start off by asking you a question. I want you to be honest. I don't want you to be optimistic. I don't want you to tell me what you think is the good answer, the right answer, or a good answer, or the answer your mom will want you to say. I want you to be honest with yourself and be honest with me, right? Have you ever had a thought in life and you was like, man, I'm doing everything right, but I still seem to have money struggles or constraints? Do it feel like you run faster, get promotions, make a little more money, but the money still seems to be a little bit faster than you, going a little bit farther out of your reach? That may be. That is the case for a lot of us. But don't worry, you're not reckless, you're not lazy. And yes, we all make some decisions that may not be the greatest, but you're not a consistent, obviously bad decision maker. That's not it. Let's just be honest. You may work hard, you show up where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be, and you're responsible. So ask yourself, why do it seem like the target or the goal keep moving farther and farther away? Why does it feel like you're always just one surprise away from having a mental breakdown or a stressful moment? And why does it seem like other people are playing a game that we don't even know how to play the game, but they're keeping it a secret? Is there some type of blueprint or something? Because we see on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all these different things where people are thriving. They're talking about they're making millions of dollars, they're making money, $100,000 a day, $100,000 a week, a month. But we seem to be struggling with just making $10,000 a month or making $1,000 a day or whatever it may be. So even if we're making the money, these people are thriving. So what is it that they're doing that we're not doing? There's a lot of different skepticisms out there. There's a lot of different answers that people give you for that. And there's no real secret blueprint or map. And you're going to find out that the secret is always within you. If any of that kind of made your chest feel tight or made you like think about and like, dang, feel a little like, man, yeah, he talking to me, I want you to stay with me, because today's episode, no, it's not about budgeting. It's not about the 50-30-20 rule. It's not about how to make more money or any of that stuff like that. Because today's episode, oh no, it's not about hustle harder, work smarter. It's not about any of that. What today's episode is about, real good people like yourself who struggle financially. Even if you're smart, disciplined, you got degrees, you got a career, you got constant promotions, they still struggle. But once you see these inside threats that you're going to be exposed to, you're not going to be unsee them, but then you'll be able to defeat them. So here's the ungodly truth that people don't want you to know. It's not that we don't know how to make money, because we were trained to earn money. Like, let's be honest. We've never been in a position where we didn't know how to make some money or we couldn't go make some money legally. But the real problem is we weren't trained how to manage it. Now, everyone may have some type of money. It don't matter if you make $1 or $1 million. It's not how much you make, but it's how much you keep. So you say it, right? But the only way to keep it is to manage it. And that, my friend, is what we're missing. That's what we wasn't taught. So let me tell you a story. And this is the story that most of us have. This is the story that most of us was raised on, whether it came from our school, it came from our parents, our environment. This is the story of most of us. I know for sure it's the story of mine. So we were told to go to school, get good grades, get a job, work hard, and be responsible. And for a while, that worked. I mean, it worked really, really well. We got our paycheck, we paid our bills, we even got raises. And when that happened, we got better cars, better houses. We began to breathe a little bit. Feel a little bit more like relaxed, right? But then boom, life shows up. And what happens? Inflation, tariffs, What happens with that? What's the result of that? Our mortgages, rent decides to go up. The cost of groceries is through the roof. Insurance, oh my God, they don't even want to pay nowadays, but that went up too. And gas prices, let's not get me started. Gas prices will probably be about $50 by a gallon by the end of the year. I'm just playing, but gas prices also went up. And subscriptions consistently go up. And we get more and more subscriptions and they begin to multiply like gremlins. I don't know if anybody ever seen that movie Gremlins back in the day. You put water on the gremlins and they multiply. That's exactly how our subscriptions go. We make a little bit more money, we get more subscriptions, whether it's the Amazon subscription, another Netflix subscription, we get an AI subscription here, upgrade this ChatGPT, we get another subscription here. We just subscriptioned out. But then comes the real stuff in life. We have to start life. The emergencies. We get a tire that blow out on our car. We find one of our children need braces or they need something. Somebody in the family gets sick or we get sick. Or we have a government shutdown or something happens where the economy goes and they can downturn like the pandemic and job shifts. Your spouse break up or God forbid you lose a spouse and now you have a one income household opposed to two, but you got the same exact bills. And suddenly everything feels like no matter how much you make, it's never enough. It's almost like you're on a treadmill and you're running as fast as you can. You got that thing all cranked up all the way to 10. You get it. But you're going nowhere fast. You're just running in place. And the uncomfortable truth about the entire thing is most of us was taught how to earn money, but who actually taught us how to make it work? Be honest, who taught you how money works? Have anybody ever taught you how to make your money make money for you? The sad truth is, I would tell you my entire life, that was not a part of the curriculum on how to make money work for you. And believe it or not, earning money and making money work for you are two different educations. The institutional education system teaches you how to earn money, but they don't teach you how money works, not at all. See, you can be brilliant at your job and still be financially struggling. And the reason is because the system, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, but there is a system, and the system rewards those who understand ownership, who understands leverage and behaviors. And I mean behaviors, I mean our own behaviors, behaviors of the entities, other people, the behaviors of money, not just the people that's working hard, but all behaviors. So let me say it in another way, right? Hard work is respected here in America. People tell you good job, it's a hard worker. They give you kudos for that. But hard work alone is not the strategy to get out of the rat race. You can work hard all your life and still never get rich. I'm pretty sure we got some family members, friends, we know they go to 9 to 5 and they're working. They may have started working when they was 12, maybe 15, 20, 21. And they work all the way up until maybe a year or even until they die. That don't have to be the fate for everybody. You just have to identify these inside threats that's killing us, that's robbing our future.
What if shopping could earn you cash instead of just costing you? You've been stuck in the cycle, tap, swipe, spend, watching your paycheck just disappear. But one day, after you stumbled onto this app called Rakuten, you ask yourself, why am I paying full price when I don't have to? But then you think, maybe it's just another gift. Then one of your friends tell you about this app called Rakuten, who makes them money and gives them cash back and rewards for thousands of stores every time they make a purchase that they were made anyway. You try it once, you discover hidden deals, compare prices, and you start winning. Shopping becomes a strategy. Every tap pays you back, and you still get what you want. You share Rakuten with your friends, watch your income grow, and become more financially confident. Download the Rakuten app today, and keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket.
See, we get stuck in this thing called the paycheck illusion. So this is what the paycheck illusion is. I'm going to paint a picture for you, and maybe you can see it a little bit clearer. Imagine this. It's payday. You get your paycheck, you look at your paycheck or your account, and you feel relief. You feel good. You got a release of dopamine. You say, you know what? I worked hard all week. I deserve a treat. Something small. It don't have to be something big. I go get my hair done, get my nails done, get a new pair of shoes, go out with the boys, have a drink, go to the beach, go to a nice restaurant, go see a movie. Just treat myself with something because I deserve this. Then the bills start pulling from your account like they was waiting for it to hit your account. So they're like, yeah, it's time to get this money, baby. I mean, they sitting in the park. They was waiting in the parking lot for you to get off work. They out there waiting to jump on you. You got rent out there with boxing gloves on. You got your car note with a baseball bat. Insurance, you know, they got a knife because they're going to get at you. But you got your phone bill that's trying to get at you. You got streaming services. They out there. All of them got brass knuckles on. And let's not talk about the debt that you got from credit card bills or child care. And Lord forbid we talk about gas to get back and forth to work and just to do the normal things you do in life. And then food right now, oh man, food is astronomical. So all these things start taking from your account and they beating you up in a parking lot, and you look up and you think, man, where did all my money go? That's been a story for a lot of us, right? I know I can't be the only one that feel like this. It has to be other people. It has to. And don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted at all. This is not you being irresponsible. Not at the least. This is just you living in a world where your money is gone before you even get it. So let's think about it. Let's take for instance, your rent or your mortgage is due next month, but you haven't even worked for that money to pay the mortgage next month. So it's already planning to take money from you that you don't even have yet, right? That means your money spent before you got it. How many other bills and subscriptions and expenses are in the saying the same thing? I can't wait till this account get this money so I can snatch it. And most people don't realize this until they're tired. They're exhausted. They're like down to a little bit of money. But the worst part is when this happens, we're caught in a cycle and our brain begins to go to survival mode. So we got to do whatever we got to do. We avoid looking at the numbers. We don't want to look at our bank account because we're embarrassed. We don't make decisions because we think if we delay them, if we don't pay them attention, they'll go away. No, they're not. We make short-term reliefs opposed to long-term gratifications. Delayed gratifications, if you will. That's like trying to put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. That's not going to help you. So we become reactive instead of intentional. We're reacting to everything immediately, and we lost our intention. We lost track of our goal. We've been distracted. And that's not because we're weak. That is simply because that is part of human nature. So don't worry, you didn't fail. None of us did. We just wasn't properly equipped to handle the task. Here's the point, right? We all went to school, we had classes. But the thing that we don't realize, we have classes in life, real life, and we have classes in the institutional educational system. Now, how many classes did you take on credit? How many classes did you take on investing, taxes, ownership, compounding, debt strategy, even negotiations, or building assets? How many of these classes did you take? How many classes did you sit down and actually learn these things? How much time did you spend on it? Don't worry, I'll wait. Now let's compare that to how many hours and how much time you spent learning algebra, history, memorizing things like the periodic table, compliances, these rules and regulations that the school put on. No chewing gum, don't walk and smoke, or standardized testing that schools have to give every year to see exactly where someone is. How many hours was actually spent on that? You see, there's a big difference in the two, because how much of the stuff that you learned that you actually use in life that you spent the most amount of time on. Only thing that this did was help us to learn how to become better employees, but it didn't teach us how to become owners. And that, my friend, is why we struggle. And when we do struggle, society hit us with the, oh, you should have known better. What? Should have known better? How should we have known better if nobody taught us better? And I know the slogan. I know it says, oh, when you know better, you do better. But we didn't know. So how are we faulted for what we didn't know? And I know you say, oh, ignorance is no excuse. But nobody taught us the game. So you told me to get out here on this football field, put a football in my hand, and told me to participate, but didn't tell me the rules of the game. So when I got hit by a middle linebacker and I'm laying unconscious, it's my fault. Make that make sense. But that right there is the beginning of today's core idea of that invisible enemy. Because the enemy is definitely invisible. It's not outside of us. It's definitely inside. It's not a mother, not a father, not a sister, brother, cat, dog, sister, frog. It's not our best friend. It's not the church. It's not the government. The biggest threat to our financial future lies internally. It's inside of us. It lives in our habits. You know, those habits that we don't question, that we don't even think about, we just do. The beliefs that we inherited from our parents, from our environment. The norms, the social norms. the things that we copy because we've seen someone else do it, or this is the way that it's always been done. The emotional reaction that we get when we talk about money, or the short-term comfort decisions that become long-term traps in our life. This is why intelligent people also struggle from financial stress. And that is because money is not just math. Yes, money is math, but money is not just math. Money is also behavior and psychology. Let me explain. Money is what you do when you're stressed, when you're tired, you're insecure, you're bored, or you're just trying to prove something to somebody. There's a quote that I want you to think about. I can't remember who said it, but it says, doing well with money has little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. So it's not what knowledge we've acquired, but it's what we do with that knowledge that makes us the most money. Essentially, this is why smart people struggle, because they're inside of the system and they can't see why they're inside. Let's think about this. You've seen Freddy, Jason, or some sort of scary movie, and you be sitting there yelling at the TV like, hey, don't go behind that door. Jason behind there gonna stab you. This is right before the young lady comes out the door. She runs through the front yard and she trips, and Jason just comes out walking slowly and he stabs her, right? And we told them the whole time, don't go out there, Jason waiting on you. But they can't see it because they're in the movie. And we're in the movie and we can't see it. So now this is the time that you're being offered the red or the blue pill. You're Neo and you're in the Matrix, because what you don't know will definitely hurt you. And that's that invisible enemy. If you can't see the enemy that's hurting you, how can you fight it? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna identify 4 invisible enemies that's been hindering your wealth. And once you see them, they can't be invisible anymore. There's gonna be a series over each podcast where we'll identify some of these invisible enemies. In this series, we're going to identify these insider threats that we're going to call them, which is the internal forces that actually sabotage our future wealth. But for today, here are the 4 invisible enemies that keep smart people like you and I stuck. 1, the education gap. See, we were taught to earn, but we were not taught to build. And what I mean by that is we were taught how to make money, go to school, get a good job and all this stuff, become a doctor, lawyer, fireman. But no one taught us how to get stock. No one taught us how to become an owner of apartment buildings, real estate, how to buy assets, or the asset classes, or asset allocation, or make our money work for us. So we default to trading time for money, getting a job so we can make more money as the only solution to being in poverty or not having enough. Invisible enemy number 2, the lifestyle drift trap. Now, the lifestyle drift trap says that as we earn more money, our expenses begin to rise quietly as well. And we don't even notice it until we're broke. We're just broke with higher income. That's all it is. Because we take our money and we have lifestyle inflation. Just like inflation goes up every year, we get more money, our expenses go up because we get more things. That's why our expenses tend to match our exact income that we make, if not exceed it. Invisible enemy number 3, the emotional spending loop. We buy things based on emotion. We buy it to soothe us, as a reward to ourselves, to escape life or escape something, or to feel powerful. And then we're ashamed to look at the numbers that it cost us or how it's affecting us adversely, because an emotional decision causes us logical stress. And number 4, the normal debt culture. For some reason, I can't tell you why, but debt becomes so common right now that it feels it's just as common as breathing air. You don't try, it just happens. We willing to take something on, a loan, a car note, house, mortgage, whatever, even credit card payments, and we pay the minimum payments. Now, by paying the minimum payments on this now becomes a lifetime subscription, a lifetime sentence that we just committed to. And that's all right. Seems a little bit backwards, right? Now, here's what makes these enemies and these threats so dangerous. They don't feel like enemies. When things and people are close to us, they don't feel like they're enemies. In fact, they feel less normal. They feel like that's just life. And that is exactly why they win silently. But don't worry, don't despair, because this is where we're going to make that crack in the wall, where we get to see some daylight. All right, hold on. Let me slow down, and I need you to slow down with me. And understand this. This is not a listen and forget it type of episode. This is a pause the button, be honest with myself, reflect and think about it type of episode. And because of that, I'm going to ask you a few questions. And I want you to answer them like you're talking in the mirror. Like you're standing in the mirror talking to yourself, because as Michael Jackson said, I'm looking to make a change, and it starts with the man or woman in the mirror. So the first question I'm gonna ask you, and I want you to ask yourself is, when did money first feel stressful in your life? And no, I'm not talking about recently. I'm not talking about the past couple of days, weeks, months, whatever. I'm talking about the first time in your life, the first time you remember feeling stressful about money. Now, question 2, who modeled money for you? I mean, what modeled money behaviors were you exposed to growing up? Was that person calm? Were they anxious, avoidant, or impulsive? So who modeled money behaviors for you as you was growing up? Because believe it or not, that plays a big impact on you. Think about it for a moment. Question 3, were money decisions explained in your household, or were they just reacted to? You were blind and oblivious to what was going on. Most of us probably was oblivious. I know I was. They tell you things about stay in the child's place. Well, what we don't tell the child now affects us later, right? Question 4, right now, today, are you calm, anxious, or avoiding around finances yourself? Just food for thought. I ask these things, and once you identify and can answer them honestly, you'll become more aware, because awareness is the first crack in the wall. And once that wall is cracked, it begins to open up, and that's when things change. So I got something called the 3 receipt test. So this is not theoretical, it's practical. So let's take a moment or two and do what I call the 3 receipt test, which are also questions. I want you to think about the last 3 things that you spend money on. I'm not talking about your bills. I'm talking about your normal spending. Now ask yourself, did I buy this because I need it? I want to be comfortable, or I just buy this for image? I want to look fly. I want to look good. I want people to look at me. That's receipt 1. Then question number 2, I want you to ask yourself, was I feeling stress, boredom? I saying that I need a reward, or did I feel pressure when I made this last purchase? And then 3, ask yourself, did I decide to make this purchase intentionally, or was it an automatic purchase? And now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong at all. Please don't get me wrong. This is not to shame you. Not at all. But this is to expose our patterns so we can identify those invisible threats that's hindering us. Because wealth isn't built just by one big move, like most of us think, like almost overnight success. It's built by winning those invisible moments when no one is looking. And don't get depressed. Don't start looking at yourself like, oh man, I'm failing, I'm doing this. You're not failing. You're not broken. You're not broken at all. The wall is broken at this point, and you're waking up. So you're probably sitting there like, oh man, I didn't get nothing out of this. I didn't get nothing. You did. I'm gonna tell you what you didn't get. Today wasn't about fixing anything. It wasn't. It wasn't about giving you some tools or strategies to go and make more money. That was not today's purpose. Today's purpose was something even more powerful. It was about giving you the ability to see. There's a game said, would you rather? So would you rather see invisible enemies or feel good in the moment if you had a superpower? Sometimes you got to ask yourself those questions. And today's episode was about taking you out of the matrix by letting you identify those invisible threats so that you can now have an even playing field and fight them fairly. Because once you see the invisible enemy, you can't unsee him. So now your eyes are no longer closed and you can see clearly now. And in the next episode, we're talking about the lie that we were sold about success and how chasing income alone keeps people like us trapped in a cycle that looks like progress, but really isn't. If this episode felt like somebody finally put how you've been feeling into words or the way you've been living your life, I want you to do something for me. I want you to go ahead, subscribe, like, comment your feelings for this, and share this with somebody that you feel this may benefit, or you can help them identify some of the enemies or some of the things you've been telling them. Because the enemy thrives in silence. You probably heard it. An idle mind is the devil's workshop. So let's not let your mind be idle. Let's not let their mind be idle. Let's not be silent anymore. We're done being silent. It's time to speak freely. And with that said, I'll see you next episode so we can make money moves by making money moves. See you. Peace.
Painted with check, yeah, I changed my mind. From broke to boss, now I'm on my grind. Like in my hand, I'm claiming my time. Make money moves, podcast my line.